The next part of the dismantling process is potentially the most arduous, but you know, if you have a Zen kind of mind, it can be really enjoyable. What we're going to do is we're going to remove every single one of these strings by unscrewing these tuning pins from the top. Often you'll find that there's this bracket which holds a lot of the strings together. It's really useful to leave that on until you've taken the strings off, until you've unwound those strings. So in order to unwind the strings, we are going to use one of these. It's an old school tool. It's called a brace and bit, and it provides an enormous amount of torque. So you use it by putting your weaker hand on the back and using your stronger hand to turn in whatever direction you like. We prefer these over power drills because they have better torque typically. So what we use instead is a 1/4 inch socket which has been modified, turned round the other way and filed off the edges to fit nicely into the end of the brace and bit. So here's how we do it. We plonk the brace and bit tool right over the top, and we make sure, if you're at the end here, it's a bit annoying because you have to use the ratchet function, but off you go, and eventually that string is released. Now you'll see that as we unwind it, the string starts to tangle up the other way, so sometimes you need to go back the other way, which is a bit annoying, to eventually free that pin. So then you can pull, sometimes you can pull the string, release the string. Then once the string's off, you can get the pin free with the ratchet again by spinning it loose. Pliers would be good. There we go. So that pins come off. Sometimes they fall to the ground. Often we'll collect them, and they're actually quite useful, some of them for the building process. So once you've done one, you need to go ahead and do the next 188 pins. It's useful to have a friend to help you to do this. And one friend is useful, but it's quite tiring, and it's probably more fun with two. Or three, or four, or five. However many friends you can get to do this.
I've got loads of friends.
I can see that. Yeah, so.
These guys are my friends.
So here's a common issue. The pin has got stuck in the end of the socket. They're not quite, the socket's a little bit wider than it needs to be. So what you can do is you can just push that pin into the hole, give it a wiggle. Ooh. Of course, better if it doesn't get stuck in the end. And what you can do is just do that wiggle just before the pin comes out. The art of unwinding. For some reason, the pins at this end, some of the pins at this end seem to be so narrow that the socket just slips over the end. So I just found a solution after 3-4 years of working with pianos. So all you need to do is get your pair of pliers, snip the top of the piano string off, and shove it down the end of your socket. So that packs out the space, and it should, yeah, just bites. Wow! So exciting. That works. Bingo.